What up, guys? Kevin here. So I just watched Phil Spencer interview on Kind of Funny Xcast, and these are just my thoughts on what he said, which I know people want Phil Spencer to go. What if he does go? And then you get like a Jim Ryan, you get somebody who doesn't do anything, doesn't go out and do this type of stuff, speak with the people, and Xbox still sucks. What an amazing interview. They just hit him hard. I thought it would be like really quick. All right, what happened with Redfall? All right, let's going on with the CMA. And it started that way, and then it continued the whole, like 40 minutes plus? Just grilling Phil Spencer, who was super mad, super cranky, which he brought up throughout the episode. I guess this was planned before Redfall and probably the CMA, then all the crap happened, and good on him for sticking through it. And yeah, they grilled him really hard. I think a little too hard. I think Phil Spencer is playing to the angry fan base when soon as this over, it's like, dude, we're all right. We got the games coming. It's Redfall. And he kind of mentioned that. He kind of mentioned like, hey, this game was well into development. And they were very hands-off on Redfall, which, I mean, that's kind of been the complaint with Xbox with all their games. They're a little too hands-off. But he did say that, like, he's going to be more engaging with the studios, which he should be, especially when dealing with an acquisition. So good on him there. I think he wants to make games a certain way, just allow the studios to do their thing, but he's learning the hard way. He can't do it. So he's getting there. But yeah, Redfall. So why did it launch the way it did? I think there was something very interesting he said. So the crash report, I think they base it on a crash report. Like, hey, how often is the game crashing? And he said it was in line with other games that launch. So that's why it launched. Didn't seem like they didn't care too much about all the other problems with the game. But he also did mention, like, hey, he wants to live in a world where studios do what they want, do their own thing, go off the beaten path. And that's why I get a Redfall. That's why I get a Grounded. Games like that. And I agree with him. And he even said that, they will end up taking, the high scores with the low scores. So I think he knew. I think Xbox knew it was going to be a low score. I didn't think he expected such negative feedback that Xbox has done it over. And yeah, do better. The 60 FPS, that was something that he brought up that he was upset about. So it sounds like that's something they're working on. However, I think Paris asked him that, hey, it's going to be a clear messaging with 30 or 60 FPS on Starfield this summer, right? And Phil Spencer said yes, but he didn't say, yes, it's going to be 60, but the messaging is going to be very clear that you're going to get what you're going to get, what we're showing you. Because, that was another thing. Phil Spencer said they knew that the previews and everything that IGN were doing were running at 60. He knew the game was 30 at that time, which I don't think we knew, but he said he's going to stop deceiving us that way. And again, I'm just somebody like, yeah, it's a little bump in the road. These guys really did make it sound like doom and gloom. I thought they were going to go soft on him, but I was like, damn, like, ease up, man. Like, things aren't that bad. And again, like, he's angry about Redfall. The CMA, he did mention, like, they're going to continue forward with the deal, which was appreciated. I wish they asked more questions on that, but they just want to get to the root problem with Xbox. But it did end. Phil Spencer very, very explained how he viewed Xbox, like the console, compared to everyone else and the focus on that. And I've been saying it all along. There really isn't a big emphasis on console. So he said that they're never going to be Sony or Nintendo. He said that like the Xbox One generation ruined it for Xbox console, just because I think he said everyone's playing Fortnite and stuff, and everyone's playing on a PlayStation and a Sony, and he said a Starfield gets 11 out of 10. He said nobody's going to go out and then sell their PlayStation 5 for an Xbox. Like, that might be the highlight of the episode. That will just tell you right there. Like, he said they're still gonna support the console and everything, but he admitted the console sales is not it. They're not gonna win the generation. It's just not gonna happen. I love just how bluntly it was, because I've been seeing it like there's just no emphasis on console these days. He's all about the ecosystem, just the screens that you can play it on. And on a positive note, they finally asked him like, hey, what are you looking forward to? This was very eye-opening. The new ROG handheld device. He's flat out said that's what he's looking forward to the most. Just another place to play Xbox games. So I got my eye on that. Hopefully the screen's better than the Steam Deck. My issue with the Steam Deck is the screen sucks. But yeah, a very, very interesting interview. I love Phil Spencer. I like what they do. Even last year, they put out Pentiment and Grounded, two games that, from Obsidian, two games that I would say Pentiment maybe a little bit more Obsidian-like, but Grounded, which is successful. And then you get a game like Hi-Fi Rush. He even mentioned, we're going to get a Redfall, Arcane doing something that is not in their wheelhouse. He wants that to continue. He wants that to continue. He wants more Redfalls and stuff, because he even said people were expecting Evil Within 3, and then we gave him Hi-Fi Rush, and that did well. And I really wish that he put more emphasis on Hi-Fi Rush. He actually kind of shat on Hi-Fi Rush, which was kind of hilarious. He said, what did he say? Yeah. It's like, funny enough, Age of Empires 2 is actually performing better than Hi-Fi Rush. And then he backtracked a little bit, because oh crap, I'm shitting on Hi-Fi Rush. Like, they're both doing great, which we know Hi-Fi Rush is doing great. But that was hilarious, just shitting on Hi-Fi Rush there, which is my game of the year. But very, very fascinating interview. And it's just all by the end of the week, people are gonna be back on the Xbox train. I was never worried about Xbox. It sucks. It's not good, but I was like, man, Redfall sucks. All right. What does Redfall sucks for Xbox really mean? Okay, a day of bad press, a day or two. We're over it. We're on the Starfield. He did mention over and over, like, you guys are just not going to believe us. You guys are just not going to believe us until the controller's in your hand. We understand that. And he did say that these games are coming. He wants a game every quarter, which they are doing. They started September when Grounded came out, and then they had Pentiment, and then they had Hi-Fi Rush, and then they had Redfall. So it's 4 quarters in a row? So we got like a year of games every quarter. Now, Starfield's the big one that we do need to be pretty good. And he seems confident. He seems confident in Starfield. He even said that his teams were more engaged with Starfield just because of how far along it was than they were Redfall. It sounds like they were just really hands-off with Redfall, and they just based the game on releasing and not delaying it because of the crash report. And he did mention that, even the bugs, he said something like, even if the bugs and everything were fixed, it's not going to do much for the game. Which I've heard some in reviews, like, even if they fix all the bugs, it's, it's still going to suck. So, very fascinating interview. I love Phil Spencer. I just love listening to his interviews. He's just very candid, very open. It is getting very Like, come on, dude. It's the same thing all the time, all the time. Like, we can do better. We need to do better here. It's all on me. It's all on me. Which just tells me that I think Xbox knew this was going to happen and they're going to take the bumps on the chin. And at the end of the day, I think they're doing well. I think they know they're doing well. I think they're still concentrated on getting Activision Blizzard pass, but he was a cranky dude. He was cranky. I mean, shout out to him. Shout out to him. Not a good week for him and Xbox. But hey, you can only go up from here. Right? Right? All right. I got to get up. I got to get out of bed. I got to work. We'll talk to you guys later. Later.